Hi, everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So, I'm sure by now, maybe some of you have heard this story or not. I don't know. I just came across it and I wanted to share it. This is a crazy story, alright? Now, this lady, life was cut short by her soon-to-be ex-husband, leaving behind 7 children.
Did you guys hear the story about the fine-ass single mom who was a social media influencer with 7 kids who was just recently unalived by her estranged ex-husband who unalived her and her boyfriend? Yeah, let's talk about it. So yes, her name was Gloria Zamora, and baby, her body was tea, and yes, this woman had 7 kids. She also had a new man and would frequently talk about her relationship status online. Whether she was happy, unhappy, whomever she was dating, she was letting her audience know. Now, she had a husband that she was estranged from and was letting people know that she was going ahead and finally finalizing the divorce. And I guess this triggered this man that on top of her talking about their relationship online, it pushed him to do the unthinkable. So while Gloria was outside enjoying a lunch date with her new man, her estranged ex-husband pulled up to the scene and let them both have it. Yeah, he pulled the trigger on her and him, unaliving both of them, and ultimately was unalived himself. Due to the fact that there was an off-duty cop in the area, saw what was going on, tried to get him to put down his weapon. It ultimately didn't work, and he was unalived at the scene as well. Mind you, all these people had children, and some of their children have taken to social media to let us know their thoughts. Now, mind you, Gloria had 7 kids, and not all of her kids were by this man that unalived her as well. There's going to be a lot of think pieces revolving around stepdads and getting involved with women with kids and all of this, but this woman did not deserve for this man to unalive her because she did not want to be with him anymore. Mind you, this woman had 7 kids, and I'm going to keep bringing that to everyone's attention because they swear that men do not want to date women with a lot of children, and they're literally out here crashing out over women with multiple children, literally. This woman had 7 and was fine as hell. Rest in peace to her.
Now, I've seen so many comments, different takes, different opinions. The man who was on a date or a business meeting with her, also, they said that she was cheating with him. Some are even saying that that used to be the husband's close friend or something. A lot of men are saying that man was taunting the soon-to-be ex-husband on social media with some risque photographs and so on and so forth. And the husband snapped because he couldn't take it anymore. So he had to go there and take their life. And it feels like, although they are saying they are not justifying it, they are justifying it because how do you explain this? Like, how many people have found out that their partners were cheating? Their partners had moved on with somebody else. Their partners or their ex-partners were, after the divorce or after they heard about the breakup or separation, they immediately found out that they were, going on holidays with them. There's even this morning, I even saw this lady talking about a situation in Kenya or something of this lady who had 3 children with this man. When he was struggling and nothing was happening, they were together. She was the one that was helping him and everything. He left her and soon married somebody else, and the wedding was lavish and people were talking about. I'm like, yeah, these things happen. Okay. These things happen. But for you to get from point A to point B and think about, going there to take their life, it's crazy. Honestly, I don't know if it will ever be okay in my mind for someone to do that. And I get that people are saying he snapped. Okay, yes, if you push people to their limit, they might snap. But then at the same time, it feels like it was just selfish in my opinion. Okay, because now you lost your life, your wife, the new partner or the cheating partner, if that was the case, because they are not here to defend themselves again, also lost his life, leaving behind 4 children, 4 daughters, and you 7. Now, who is going to take care of these children? But anyway, let's get into a clip from a podcast that she was on. She was talking about her situation, kind of, and then we'll get into what people had to say about the whole situation. And leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Thank you.
Around that specific time, which was like a year and a half ago, that's when my whole second marriage started falling apart because obviously I'm like dedicating time into fitness and trying to grow something. And seeing even the opportunity or even thinking that this can even become something, you know? So people start getting insecure and not allowing me to thrive in something that I'm just so passionate about, you know? So I felt like that person was just holding me back. And, you know, I decided to end my second marriage. And that's when a lot of the problems started to where bringing me down mentally, talking about like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what do you think you are? You think that you're this fitness influencer all of a sudden? Like, you really think you can do that? So it's like, when somebody wants to test me or como se dice, como retarme, que te reten.
Yeah. You know, they want to challenge you.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't challenge me because I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, for real. I think that has always been my life. You know, when people used to say, like, you're not going to amount to anything because you're a teen parent and you already went through one marriage, failed marriage. Like, you're nothing. Who's going to want you with 3 kids? Like, nobody's, you know.
You like to prove people wrong.
Hell yeah. I'm going to prove you wrong because I feel like I've always needed to prove people wrong from a very young age, you know, coming up from a broken home, you know, having an alcoholic dad, my mom just being out there, a hustler, working, trying to provide for her 4 kids because the dad wasn't around and stuff like that. I just knew that I was not going to be that girl that was a teen parent and just allow for somebody to dictate my life, even though it took me a lot of years to get there though. Because even though I'm a woman, like, I don't mind being submissive to my man. Like, I don't mind it. I love being a woman, but there's times where these men put you to act like a freaking man. And
they put you on your masculine.
Literally, yes. Sure. And I used to hate that about being in these 2 relationships. I hated that me being a woman, a lot of it, I'm acting like I'm the man in the relationship. And I'm the one that's always trying to like, let's grind, let's hustle. Like, we were able to do this. Like, I want more. Like, let's go do more. Like, you and I, like, let's grind. And it's more like, settle down. Like,
calm down.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Why do you want more? You should just settle with where you have, living in a bitch ass apartment and a shithole apartment. Like, that's not me. You know, from a young age, I've always wanted more. You're not going to join me. You're not going to support me knowing that you see this in me and you're not supporting me. It's like, what am I doing? It takes a really secure man to really value like what they have at home. Because I mean, and everybody has, like how we talked about earlier, everybody has like their life journey. Yes. You know, I don't think my life journey was to be somebody that can settle. Even though I feel like I wish I had like what these other girls had to where they get married and they're man, because there is men out there. There is men out there that they praise their women and they acknowledge how great of a woman, mom, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're a stay-home mom or you go out and you make money just like your husband does, but they don't treat them like shit.
They allow them to walk in that and they support it and empower it.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't have an issue with being submissive. I think like us as women, but there's an extent to that. You know, there's an extent to where you can be submissive to your man. You can be in your femininity with your man. I'm okay with that in my house. If my man could put me in my femininity, I'm going to stay there. You're my king. I'm going to treat you like 100%. You are my everything. For sure. But the moment that you don't treat me good and you don't appreciate who I am, like even my person of who I am, and you don't allow me to be me to my fullest, like I'll eventually get to the point where like, yeah, I'm not appreciated. Yeah. Because I hated that's who I am with my first marriage and this one. I hated the fact that I can be submissive to you and I can be this wonderful woman because I'm a girl. This is my day to day. I go to work. I come home. I take care of my kids. I feed them. I clean. I'm very domestic. Like I'll clean my household. Like I'll make sure my shit is clean. I'll make sure that my stuff is organized.
You handle all your responsibilities.
Everything.
And some.
And all I want you to do is treat me like I should be treated.
Yes. And
allow me to be me.
And that's already
Don't stop me. Don't prevent me from doing things or don't, I think like when you're in a situation like that, I hate that in the 2 marriages that I just give myself, like completely give myself to where I feel like there's a part where these men start taking advantage of that. I don't know
because they know they have, it's what it is. It's like, they know they have you.
She filed for a divorce 2 weeks ago. And I think, he just didn't want them not to be together. They've been married for 16 years. She has 7 kids. Her new boyfriend had 4 daughters. Oh, it's so sad and so heartbreaking. I tell people all the time, the most dangerous time for a woman is when she leaves. And that's why so many stay for so long. And it's just heartbreaking. And the husband ended up getting unalived by the police. And it's so sad. Now those kids have no parents. Oh, just say a prayer for the kids, y'all. Say a prayer for the kids.
I don't know if y'all heard about the story of a girl whose ex-husband exed her and the guy that she was dating in Fontana. And I have some notes just so I don't miss anything, but something told me to come on here and really warn people, especially ladies, to be careful who you date. Don't ignore signs of control and jealousy. There's a lot of red flags and a lot of patterns that I've seen in my personal experience of men who cannot control their emotions. And that's from narcissism, gaslighting, manipulating, whatever it may be. I always told myself, do not date a man who is insecure, who has self-esteem issues, who does not feel good or confident about himself. But on the other hand, I've always told myself, you need someone that can lead, that you respect, that also has a good head on his shoulders. So the red flags, 1, being controlling. Where are you going? What are you doing? Why? Number 2, stalking. Yes, to a certain extent, it may be a little normal because all of us kind of look through social media posts, whatever, but I'm talking very in-depth and almost obsessing over it. Number 3, jealousy. Jealousy is a huge red flag. There's a okay aspect, and then there's the one where you're going too far and you might need help in that area. Number 4 is asking about your past, but asking about your past in a way where it's like, why do you need to know this? What's the point of it? You know, we're all adults. We've all had people we've been with, right? I don't need to know your number. I don't need to know all the details, right? Maybe just, hey, how come it didn't work out with so-and-so? And like nothing too in-depth, okay? Let's keep it healthy. Number 4, if they ask to borrow money, unless you guys have been together and it's a great partnership and everything is healthy, that's fine. Just know that in the beginning, you know, we're all on a high. It almost feels like you're on a drug because it's just all this dopamine rush, right? But just remember that during those times you might not be making the best decisions. And so if you think that you're in love and this person has to borrow money, don't do it. Number 5, being cheap on dates. Some of these my mom actually told me. Don't be with a guy that's going to be cheap on a date. It's all, you know, an investment to try to get to know people, and there's networking and whatever, but it's at the end of the day an investment that you're making to potentially take things further, right? And then there's the people that are just in it for either fun or to use you, and at the end of the day, that's a lesson for you, right? And number 6, love bombing. If they're too much in the beginning and you're not comfortable with it, whether it's I don't know, just saying you're my world and you're my everything and I can't live without you, like those are words that are a little scary because you want to make sure that they are stable mentally. And the next one is secluding you from friends, from family, trying to isolate you. I've had this happen, and you don't realize it's happening at the moment, but you're just trying so hard to make this person happy and keep them secure. And then the next thing you know, your girlfriends are saying, hey, how come you don't come out a lot anymore? How come I don't see you as much? How come you're not posting as much? And when you're really happy and in a healthy relationship, you should be glowing. You should be with someone who's supporting everything that you're doing. And as long as, of course, it's a good, healthy thing. I'm going to keep using the word healthy because we want to make sure that we know and we can like notice the healthy patterns and behaviors. And then the next one is calling you names. Don't call each other names. Don't cuss each other out. Always try to keep it graceful and respectful. Sometimes when you get mad, you might slip a WTF, but other than that, like actually being toxic, avoid that. And I think I'm on number 9, addictions. So one thing about people with addictions is their brain behaves differently. So if you are a recovering addict, whatever, that's great, right? But if you are still a struggling addict, go through it on your own and don't involve others in it and bring others down and expect them to be your escape or expect them to help you through that ride, because it is a turbulent one and it's something that you need to deal with alone before you try to drag someone else down. So learn to heal before you try and cope with it in different ways. Another one is when they threaten to X themselves, or maybe the worst thing is even X you. Don't take that lightly, because that means that they're highly emotionally unstable and trying to manipulate, and you never want to be with someone that is going to mess around with threats like that. And then, of course, all this comes down to being unable to regulate emotions. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be emotionally mature. You have to be stable. You have to learn how to communicate. And at the end of the day, you and your partner should be growing together. You and your partner should be working towards the same goals. You and your partner should be on the same page. And if they're not bringing you peace, and if your partner seems to have a bad temperament, that's something that they need to work on. And even if it means going to therapy, whatever, just don't avoid that situation. And for someone going through DV actively, don't hesitate to reach out and really lean on the people that are around you that you trust.
Good morning. I want to give my quick opinion real quick on this Gloria Zamora situation. But before I do, I just want to say this real quick. Man, this has to stop. Like, this killing women, not being able to let go, not being able to move on. Like, it's gotta stop. First, we had that one guy who was like Middle Eastern that broke into his girl's house, or his ex-girl's house, when she was with another guy. I don't know if y'all remember, a couple years ago, they were like influencers. He killed her. Then you had that guy from Vegas who that girl broke up with. He killed her. And now you got this, man. It's just a sad reality. And just, you know, like, I mean, there's no perfect way to know who's gonna be who. You never know, because people are bullshitters. But I mean, there's probably signs, you know, hopefully you could look out for early on. You know, if they're too it's okay to set boundaries, but if they're too overprotective, probably DV. If they're love bombers constantly, probably DV, motherfucker. So just do your due diligence. But I just want to get my hot take real quick. Personally, I feel like he felt entitled. I felt like he put too much into the relationship to just let her go and walk away. From his time, from his resources, he felt like he wasn't going to leave with nothing. And from her being a very strong, independent woman and having her own thing going, I felt like she was okay with leaving, and he just wasn't going to take that. And her talking about it set him over the edge, and he probably sent her messages telling her, like, you know, I'm not the one, or, you know, whatever. And she, probably being a strong, independent woman, was like, I've already been through failed relationships. Like, I'm not afraid to go through another one. And he just couldn't handle that. And it was just too much for him. And he snapped. And when it comes to how did they track him, or how did they track her, how did he find her, or whatever the case may be, come on, dude. You could literally, in your head, think about a tracking device, and you go on Instagram or TikTok, and there's like 5 videos of tracking devices of TikTok Shop, or you scroll through Instagram and there's like ads for tracking devices. You don't even gotta say it. You could just think about it and it comes up on your feed. But it's just a sad reality, and rest in peace. Stay safe, ladies.
I don't need a ring and my girls don't.
You see that? Hector, 43 years old, got 4 daughters. Beautiful family, man. 4 daughters. Imagine you meet a young lady. She says she also is a mother of 7, going through a divorce. Try to take out, man. Y'all have a big, beautiful, blended family. And this is what she looked like. Take out to get some sushi, and evening's going good. No issues. And then she says she's still going through a divorce. She's technically still married. So y'all chilling, and her ex-husband runs up. Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lizarraga. Yeah. Says, if I ain't with you, nobody will be. Ends Hector, daughters will never see him again, and takes her out. Her 7 kids will never see her again. Then takes himself out, shootout with the police. This domestic violence thing is getting out of hand. Y'all choose up, be careful out here.
So I'm reading about this whole Gloria Zamora situation. That's her name. Her and her man were gunned down by her ex-husband in Fontana, at a Fontana sushi spot. And it's actually close to where I live, y'all. I live in IE, and it's really close to where I live. So I was very curious about the story. And I was like, damn, that's tragic. You know, mother of 7. I'm like, what could possibly drive her ex-husband to do something like this?
And I know exactly what.
And yo, like, I'm by no means condoning what he did. I'm not condoning murder at all. Like, it's wrong. All human life is sacred. Just off them, a mother of 7. That's tough. But for a man to be pushed to that extreme, you got to look at both sides of the coin here. So not only has she been cheating for over a year, maybe even longer, she had a domestic violence case on him, and she had been antagonizing him on social media a bunch. And her new man decided to jump in on the fray too and antagonize him as well. And Buddy Boy snapped. He ended up snapping, ended up killing her. And I have no sympathy for her, because she kind of did this to herself. Does she deserve to die? No, she doesn't deserve to die. But like, how can you feel sorry for her if you're putting yourself in a certain position for it to happen? How can you feel sorry for her? She did that to herself. Like, she did that to herself, bro. You can't keep pushing that line and testing those limits
and expect nothing to happen to you. It's like,
the moral of this is, you can't do certain things and think you're going to be exempt of certain consequences. Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. Consequence goes for everybody in every way. You don't know what's going to happen to you or what's going to occur. Like, she probably thought she was untouchable. Her husband would never do something like this to her. And well, there you have it. Like, he pushed her to his breaking point, and that's what happened. Is it a tragedy? Yes. Like, that should never happen. Like, she was a mother. Like, but do I feel bad? No, not at all, bro. Not at all. I'm telling y'all, man, it's disrespect that drives a man to do the most the most heinous things. It always starts with disrespect. Now, for a lot of us, the gauge, the level is different. For that dude, he felt he needed to do exactly what he needed to do. Me personally, I wouldn't have sought out murder. I would have brushed it under the rug. Just like a lot of guys probably would have just brushed it under the rug. Been like, whatever, move on with my life, blah, blah, blah. But he felt that was necessary. That dude felt it was less necessary. A lot of guys think like he does. So you have to proceed with caution. You don't know how a dude's going to react to disrespect. He's going to be like me and be passive, or he's going to be like him and kill somebody over that shit. It's either one end of the spectrum. And of course, there may be some gray area in middle ground, but that it's two opposite ends of the spectrum there. You can't proceed as if one won't happen and can never happen. That's just not how you have to live life, bro. You have to take in all possibility. You have to take in every possibility. And I don't think that chickie here, a little ex, I don't think that Sophia girl, what's her name, Gloria? I don't think she took that into account. Nevertheless,
I don't sympathize, y'all. I do not sympathize. I don't sympathize, man.
I'm sorry, but for me, hearing her, talking about her relationship on that podcast, I kind of understand where she's coming from. She's giving and giving and giving, and she wanted more for herself. She didn't want to be stuck there doing basic stuff when she can see the potential, when she can see that she can go further. Now, there's a lot of guys in the comments saying she wanted to leave him to become an OF model and so and so. And so what? And so what? If that's what she wanted to do, that's what she wanted to do. Clearly, you guys are no longer aligned. You want different things and she wants different things. Now, look at it this way. That man was not the one who even had the babies. You understand? He didn't have 7 children. This woman had 7 kids. She had 3 kids. She was able to pull herself out wherever she was, meet you. You accepted her. You had 4 kids together. That's my assumption. And you settled down. Everything was okay. You've been together for 16 years. Now she wants more. She wants you to support her. You don't want to support her. And she's tired of staying there and being stuck and doing what you're doing, because obviously it's not amounting to anything. And she wants to go out there and do something else, try something else, and you don't want it. So clearly you're not on the same page, and that's why it's good for you to leave. Okay? So if she came to you with a divorce paper saying that, hey, I'm done with this, you didn't have to take her life, because clearly you were not equally yoked. Is that not how they say it's? Being equally yoked, because clearly you were not equally yoked. You are not on the same page. She wanted different things. You wanted different things. And she did the right thing by asking you for a divorce. Okay? So you can find somebody else who also wants the same things as you. You have clearly grown apart. You both want different things. And this is the time you call it quits, because if not, it's going to become something else. And she went on her way to call it quits, but you won't have it. Because if I can't have you, then nobody else can. You didn't think about your children. You didn't think about anybody else but your feelings, your wants and your needs, your ego, your pride. You decided to do whatever you wanted to do. Okay, so you went out there, took a gun, got there. They are saying that at the time it was the boyfriend or business partner who pulled out the pew-pew first. Okay, that's what the men are saying. I don't know how true that is. And he retaliated, but he went there with the pew-pew. Okay, so only God knows what happened there. Like I said, they are not here to tell their sides of the story, so we are all going off what we've heard. Okay, most of the men are supporting it, although they are saying they don't condone violence. This is why you don't date somebody else's wife, and so on and so on. I'm like, so this is what you guys would do if somebody else was cheating on you. Oh, okay, with your wife or your girlfriend. You go visit them with a pew-pew. Is that what you do? Does it sound right in your head? Like she doesn't deserve to live because it's you. And that is the problem. That is the issue. But that is how a lot of men feel. That's the revelation I got from this whole situation. A lot of men have that same mindset. Like if they married you, they have their children with you, you were together, you were doing whatever, X, Y, and Z. If they are okay with it, you should be okay with it. Okay? If they say you can't move, you can't move. Until they say it's over, it's not over. Okay? If they have not been able to find somebody else and move on, you must stay with them. Whether they treat you right or not, you must stay with them. Whether they put hands on you or not, you must stay with them. And when you decide to leave, you always have to be looking over your shoulders, because they may come to you with a pew-pew and take your life. That's what this is telling me. Alright? So although they are saying, oh, we don't condone violence, but X, Y, and Z, but she deserves it, she brought it upon herself, and so on and so forth, you are condoning it. That's your mindset. Okay? If you guys are no longer equally yoked and the lady wants something else and you also want something, call it quits, move on. That's it. I don't care if you have 15 children, 21 children. Move on. Move on. in this situation, she wanted to move on. So she was taking herself away from the situation, but you won't let her, because if you can't have her, nobody else can. But anyway, I want to leave it here and I'll see you again in the next one. Leave your own thoughts and opinions in the comments. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.